Wu Hao, who was traveling inexplicably, was inexplicably chased by a woman and fell off a cliff. He occasionally passed down the legacy of Gou Sheng. Let's see how he becomes a strong man, seeks revenge from a woman, and then becomes a fighting emperor, breaking through the void of delusion. Chapter 1. The Blade of Drinking Blood. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Background. Duki Continent. Character. Wu Hao, the male protagonist of Dou Po, unexpectedly enters the world of Dou Po. Mysterious woman, inexplicably pursuing Wu Hao. I don't know how the story unfolds. Please carefully review it, all authors. Dog thief. Don't run. A nearly crazy and seductive girl, with blood-red eyes, chasing the desperately running young man. Beauty. I didn't mean to. Who knew you didn't wear clothes when you took a shower? What? The girl couldn't suppress her breath when she heard the boy's reply and roared angrily. Dog thief, I must kill you. The young man saw that such gentle words did not calm the woman down, and he didn't care about being embarrassed. Should I drink hatred just as I woke up? Beauty, I didn't see anything and was blinded by 2 lumps of meat. Believe me. Ah. You're still talking, dog thief. That's right, this scene is so intriguing, but the protagonist of the story, unlucky and lucky, has encountered it. Wu Xiaohao, a 90.9 and 60.6 ox and horse man of the 21st century, is watching Dou Po while fishing, and he firmly believes that only the money earned by fishing is truly earned. As a result, when the boss raided and checked, he accidentally stuffed his charged phone into a coffee cup, resulting in a perfect ending. Over. Arriving at this unfamiliar and fragrant grass, he became a 13 or 14-year-old boy who had just fallen from a cliff. Coincidentally, this male lead's name is Wu Hao. Then, when he was dazed and awake, a pair of huge coughs, charged here, flashed into his 24K 5.2 myopia. The tragedy unfolded like this. Looking at the girl carrying a knife, she is definitely an authentic craftsman. Why do you know? Look at the holes around my little brother who has been with me for many years, and you will know that this crazy woman likes to play with crafts. Dog thief. Stop. The girl increased her speed and had a fighting spirit of not turning back until she reached the south wall. Beauty, please forgive me and forgive me. Those who don't forgive me are villains. You. I must kill you. Just as the girl was less than 10 meters away from Wu Hao, she slightly withdrew her long sword in her hand. Although it seemed difficult, it made Wu Hao feel a hint of urgency. It seems like there is endless killing intent hidden in that sword. Let him swear to be above life and death. WOC, Master. Wind Spirit Sword Strike. After the girl gathered her strength, she unleashed a sword blade that aimed straight at Wu Hao. Looking at the approaching sword energy, that's it. Barbie buckled, I'm still a chicken. A flash of blood flashed by, and the sword energy brushed against the edge. Wu Hao was tripped by a withered vine. Ah. That's right. He fell off the cliff again. The girl watched this scene foolishly. Look at your sword. I killed someone. Where is this? On a branch of the cliff, Wu Hao woke up in a secluded state. I'm fine, it's really cool. Damn beauty, almost finished my chick career. Don't give me a chance, otherwise I will definitely seek revenge. Looking at his own situation, Wu Hao was both grateful and afraid. Looking at the bottomless valley, he was firm, afraid to move, and even if he looked up, he couldn't see his head. Am I going to be trapped here? Wait, what is that? Just as he was preparing to relax and wait for death, a blurry opening caught his attention. Wu Hao remembered many novels he had read. The male protagonist fell off a cliff, entered a cave, learned the supreme divine skill, and began his invincible journey. He led Huang on the left and lifted Song on the right, all the way was a little girl. I'm pulling it too far. After exercising my body for a while, WOC feels so cool and punk. Just take a closer look, tsk. How ruthless. A bloodstain brushed past the edge, even the bloodstain is capable. There is such a calamity in my life. When my Depeng spreads its wings, I will definitely exchange blood for blood. Wu Hao made the most poisonous oath and crawled towards the cave from the tree branch in his heart. Wu Hao exhausted his last bit of strength and finally climbed to the front of the cave. Looking at the open and quiet cave entrance, he made a mistake, in or not in. As people born in the year 996 of the 21st century, it is well known that the more mysterious a place is, the greater its allure. It is either a beautiful woman with money or someone who is not addicted to money. But for unlucky me, it's the latter. Just as he was thinking, a gust of strong wind blew and scared him to run towards the cave entrance. Thinking about his situation again, it seems like he has to get in if he doesn't get in. Forget it, it's a big deal to reopen. The result of fantasy, walking along the pitch-black cave wall in fear of any sudden news hitting me. After an unknown amount of time, Wu Hao touched the stone gate ahead. Is there really a strongman's cave? Chapter 2. Mysterious Cave. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suddenly, the cave entrance shook and slowly opened, with flames shining around. It turned out that Wu Hao, who likes to nitpick, managed to get to the switch of the cave door. The sudden change made him panic, and he swore that he would never touch or pick again in the future. Continuing forward with the firelight, watching the spacious passage extend deep, guiding him deeper. He is cautious, constantly observing the surroundings. Encountering a cave by chance, it was extremely narrow at first, and only then did it open to people. After walking dozens of steps, it suddenly became clear. At the end of the road, a shining palace appeared with the three big characters, Gou Sheng deeply ingrained in people's hearts. Thousands of great emperors play with their hearts and minds, only by striving to achieve eternal enlightenment. Wu Hao stands up, afraid to step forward. He's an old six, double your guard. Just as he was about to retreat, a figure appeared, floating and unstable. Hello, destined person. The sudden news is that you are the one. Watching the sudden appearance of his figure, Wu Hao was instantly alert and stared at him intently, afraid that the person who appeared would give him a fatal blow in the next second. Are you? I am the spirit of this cave, as for why am I here? It's a long story. What? Wu Hao, who is confused, is very confused. To make a long story short. My master is an expert with a resounding name from ancient to modern times. Gou Sheng, you don't even know when he said it, your ancestors might not have come out at that time. What? How do you feel like it's insulting me? Forget it, pretend to lower your head under the eaves. He refined me into a temporary cave, but when he tried to evade the enemy, he left me behind to attract attention, but the enemy never noticed him. I was forgotten. After absorbing the essence of the sun and the moon for thousands of years, I have developed intelligence, but it is very weak. After listening to this sentence, Wu Hao was instantly resurrected with full blood. Either kill him or I'll take the palace and become a billionaire. Looking at Wu Hao's uncertain whether, the spirit of the mansion was puzzled and continued to speak. I don't have any means of attack, I'm closely connected to the palace. You don't have to be afraid, I'm just too bored. There's nothing alive here for thousands of years. I'll chat with you. Can you take me up there? Cannot. What? What's the use of me accompanying you? Don't I have to wait to die? Can't you stay with me? But I want to eat. Yes, from his predecessor's memory, he was a beggar. While walking at night, he fell from a cliff into the grass and was chased by a woman. Later, there was a series of incidents where he didn't drip water or stick rice. If he hadn't starved frequently, the male lead would have starved to death. I remember the host left me with a lot of food, such as mapo tofu, xianwei ham, etc. Wait, what did you just say? Mapo tofu, xianwei ham. Is Lord Gou also a time traveler? Fu Ling, can you give someone who stutters a drink? Sure. After eating and drinking, Wu Hao's mind lit up and he asked a series of classic quotes. My father Zhang Fu Ling. 80 sledgehammers. Fu Ling. Palace jade liquor. Fu Ling. Looking at the confused spirit of the mansion, Wu Hao fell into confusion. Did I guess wrong? Don't try again. Sun Tzu, I am your grandfather. Fu Ling didn't hang him directly. Ling, your master, hasn't he left a mark on you? Yes, it's just that it's worn out over time. Why can you still run it? When I was refined by the master, special materials were added and the charging entrance was carved with automatic absorption of surrounding energy for charging. When the imprint was worn away, the final energy absorbed a bit of life breath and formed consciousness, becoming me. So advanced. Yes, the owner takes every work very seriously, so this is also the key to my consciousness. We don't have much fun sitting and chatting like this, why don't we go into the palace and take a look? Fu Ling didn't think much, after all, he had only appeared for a few hundred years and had not experienced any ups and downs. Just like this, Fu Ling led Wu Hao into the palace. After entering the quaint decoration, Wu Hao was lost in thought. Unexpectedly, beneath the exterior of Ferrari, there was a tractor decoration. But it's quite down to earth. Fu Ling looked at Wu Hao's bewildered gaze, thinking that he had been showcased by his perfect palace, and continued proudly. When the owner designed me, it cost a huge amount of money from blueprint to construction, and finally to decoration. Listening to the description of the mansion spirit with a big face, Wu Hao was even more confused. Is this serious? Fu Ling, also known as Dog Egg, refined by the famous expert Gou Sheng, is an auxiliary artifact that embodies the essence of heaven and earth. The power of the origin can absorb the origin of all things, record and convert them through other energies. After collecting gold, wood, water, fire, earth, and spatial rules, the original space will be transformed into a small world. Note: without any attacking power, it is an essential artifact for clothing, food, shelter, and transportation. Chapter 3. Inheritance and Recognition of the Lord by the Spirit of the Prefecture. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Do you have any unique features? I have a powerful defense system and storage space, and my core can carry various rules. I also have various workspaces, such as alchemy area, artifact area, beauty private items and miscellaneous room, etc. I have features that you can think of, and I may also have features that you haven't thought of. How do you feel like something shouldn't have been mixed in? Listening to his flattery, Wu Hao asked another simple question. Can you take me out? No. What's your use then? What's the use of being so powerful? It's not like being abandoned here. Is it true that I have nothing to do with the residents of Fuling Emo? Wait. You said you have an alchemy room. Yes. Is there a pill that can make me transform into a flying immortal just by taking one? No. The elixir of immortality. No. You're not all empty, are you? Yes. Wu Hao almost beeped over. Please ask my master to refine me. Even before I even prepare to add furniture, the enemy came, and then you know. What else do you have besides food now? Not to mention, besides food, there are also some small things, a cultivation technique, and some classics. There's no time to organize. What? Cultivation techniques. What cultivation method? Blood Flame Classic. This is the fundamental method that my master cultivates, which he has pondered on his own. Is it powerful? Wu Hao didn't want to see its proud face and glanced at it. Continuing to ask, what's so powerful? This cultivation method is very useful, as it allows people to practice without having to go to the Do Qi stage. There is a refining method in the Do Qi stage. There is no martial art in this world that can be achieved. Are you strong or not? Unfortunately, it was sealed. The owner has set up a password lock to prevent people from stealing learning. Password lock. The technology tree of the cultivation world. Wu Hao picked up the technique and started studying it, and a virtual screen popped up. Why didn't anyone notice that Mulan was a woman when she joined the army? She wrapped herself in bra. Error. She's wearing plate armor. Error. You still have one more chance. Lying trough. Play like this, I think about it. Buying a steed in the west. In the north, she bought a whip. Congratulations, destined person. Sweating profusely, Wu Hao breathed a sigh of relief. WOC is so beautiful. Fu Ling looked at Wu Hao, who answered correctly, and pondered, wondering if he was the destined person chosen by the master. Master. What? Who are you calling the master? Oh, you. Why? Why? Because you are a destined person chosen by the master. What does that have to do with you? What? Master, the previous master set restrictions on me during my refining process. Only the fighting spirit of practicing the Blood Flame Classic can motivate me. And if you inherit the inheritance of your master, then you can cultivate and motivate me, and then you are my master. Watching the serious appearance of Fu Ling, Wu Hao also had a hint of excitement. Then follow me from now on and I'll teach you Kung Fu. Cough, master, I cannot practice. What? Don't worry about these for now, tell me about this world, and then teach me how to cultivate. I don't know. What? Can you have some effect? I have it. I have many functions, such as stop. Wait, I think I have a few travelogues here. That's a bit useful. I also need to give you a name. Okay. I'll call you Dog Egg in the future. Can we change it? No. Thus, the spirit of the mansion had a new name, Dog Eggs. Looking at the determined and silly owner, Fu Ling reluctantly accepted this shameful name. Dog Egg, do you have any books about this world? I want to read them. Thinking that everyone had come, Wu Hao could only try to understand this world. After all, the premise of settling for what comes is to understand what kind of world it is. To better cope with it. Some masters, my former masters, have piled up many books about this world in my space. Wait for me to search, I have it. This one is more interesting. Diary of Duki Continent, and this, on the road, when encountering a Dou, I am the Dou King. I want to crush him, but what if he turns out to be the Dou Emperor? What? Wu Hao always felt unreliable listening to these bizarre books, but he still chose one to start browsing. Blood Inflammation Classic. An alternative cultivation technique developed by Gou Sheng, who combines the strengths of various families and conducts simulated experiments based on his own meridians and body. It does not conflict with the martial arts of Duki Continent and can complement each other to cultivate the body. I suggest everyone exercise, as the body is the foundation of life. Gou Sheng. A mysterious powerhouse who, due to her numerous confidants and beauties, has provoked many emotional debts and also caused unnecessary troubles. Chapter 4. First Hearts of Mainland China's First Refining. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 5. The Magic of Fighting Qi. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Finally succeeded. It's over, it hurts so much. Wu Hao lay limp on the ground, covered in cold sweat and even accompanied by intense tremors. What kind of breaking technique is this? Didn't Gou Sheng experience it? He seems to be doing remedial work, and his physical strength has reached a very high level. He can ignore the pain and naturally won't record it. Forget it. Take a look at my fighting spirit. After calming down, Wu Hao ate a little more and began to look inside. Hold your breath and gaze into your entire body, a faint glimmer of Douji's blood flickering in your body. Is this the blood of Dou? I feel like there's nothing magical about it. It feels like there's an endless amount of energy and a constant stream of warmth, but there's not much to feel. Wu Hao let go of his desires and carefully examined Douji's vitality. Red was the main color, while green was a subtle contrast, exuding a unique charm. Firewood attribute, magical. I remember the male protagonist's anti-inflammatory nature is this kind of attribute that can make him an alchemist. I don't know if my martial arts can refine medicine. Looking back, find some alchemy classics and see if it's possible to become a deputy alchemist profession. I tried the endurance of Douji blood qi, and Wu Hao took off his clothes. After daydreaming for a while, he started doing push-ups. After more than 2 hours, he was a little tired. It seems that physical fitness has improved. Take another look at the explosive force, pick up a heavy object and throw it towards the open space. Bang! Over 100 pounds, a distance of 100 meters. Well, the strength is good. Learn some martial arts skills later, and the explosive power will be even higher. Ha ha ha, I will be invincible. Cough. Master, calm down before you can fight. Wu Hao glanced at Dog Egg and listened to his words, then suddenly became lethargic. So I just started. If it weren't for this body being only 13 or 14 years old, it wouldn't be too late. Getting back together, Wu Hao set a small goal to become a fighter. Think about going out again. He asked the dog eggs to come out with food. Once Mapo tofu is eaten, the future life will be the way. Practice. He embarked on another journey of asceticism. Well, there's something wrong with this fighting spirit. How could you compress and extract it yourself? Wu Hao noticed a change in his body, and the first strand of Dou's blood gas would automatically absorb surrounding energy and compress it, very weakly. And with the help of the first strand of Dou Qi, he absorbed it half a minute faster. Half a minute, if I had this half a minute speed, I might be able to break through a period of fighting energy in less than a month. Originally, this cultivation technique is so magical that it increases by half a point in one section. Are those 2 sections 1 point, 3 sections 4 sections? I dare not think, I dare not think. After a moment of contemplation, Wu Hao entered a state of cultivation again. A month and a half are fleeting. Cure me. This deadly technique is deadly. If it doesn't end, I'll die. At this moment, the third stage of blood fighting qi in Wu Hao's body was slowly condensing, and a large amount of energy was impacting his skin, with strands of blood gas overflowing from the epidermis, forming blood scabs. The qi stage of blood inflammation is divided into 3 parts. The first 3 sections, condensing blood gas, quenching skin realm. In the third section, in the realm of quenching meat. The last 3 sections, the realm of quenching tendons. Pain increases 1 by 1, and satisfaction increases 1 by 1. Most people can't practice it. Lord Go, are you serious? Give me some condensation. At the moment when Wu Hao couldn't hold on, the third stage of Dou Qi finally turned around. Wu Hao, who had slept for an unknown amount of time, woke up leisurely. Where am I? Who am I? What have I done? At this moment, the ghostly dog egg stared at Wu Hao intently. Master, you're awake. Are you okay? Dog egg, how long have I been sleeping? Master, you have been sleeping for 5 hours. Wu Hao sat up and felt the dirty blood all over his body, as well as the occasional foul smell. He moved his body for a while. Still alive, it's not easy. Master, in fact, as long as you endure the pain, you don't need to deliberately condense, and the fighting spirit of blood can also gather, but it takes a longer time. What? You didn't say it earlier. Why didn't you say it earlier? If you said it earlier, I would have fainted earlier. You didn't ask me either. However, This is also beneficial for you, as it can temper your spiritual and soul power. Well, it's okay not to practice. It smells so bad. Is there any water? I want to take a shower, it's been a long time since I took a shower. I don't have water for you to take a shower here, you have to go out. Where did the water from before come from? What seeped in from outside, I collected it. I'll recover and get ready to go out. Good master. Wu Hao sat still and began to observe his own changes. Firstly, his skin. With the elimination of dirt, his body's attraction to fighting spirit became stronger and stronger, and his skin pores could sensitively absorb fighting spirit. The internal fighting energy, 3 strong filamentous fighting energies swimming in the bloodstream. Live and vivid, pulling the fighting spirit scattered throughout the body, slowly condensing. As expected, every additional segment of Dou Qi will enhance the speed of absorbing Dou Qi, although it is not as fast as the previous increase by half. But there is also a 2/3 increase in the first half. It's also quite impressive. Thinking about the pain, Wu Hao's face turned bitter. When will this day end? However, in order to become stronger, Wu Hao did not say anything about giving up. As the old saying goes, those who lick themselves, no matter how dirty they are, must lick them all. Goo 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 goo. Hungry, start cooking. Chapter 6. Real men can't say no. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After eating and drinking enough, Wu was wiping his feet. Due to the blood scab, he always felt that his feet were not doing well, so he started picking his feet. He also issued a series of soul interrogations towards the spirit of the mansion. Dog egg, are you willing to walk with me? Whether I am poor or wealthy, healthy or sick. You will never leave me. I am willing, master, take me away. I don't want to stay here anymore, it's too lonely. Are you really willing? Wu Hao not only asked, but also occasionally put his finger to his nose to ask. This is a soulful question. I really want to. Okay, then let's recognize the master with blood. Master, I am ready to unleash my nature to the fullest. Is that enough? Damn it, I can't hold on anymore. Not enough for the master, only a little has been completed, and the changing room still needs blood. What? Do you know what you're talking about? We are working on a blood contract. Do you need that much blood? I've been letting it go for half an hour now. Although it's just a wrist cut, I'm human. Can't withstand it. Oh. Master, you want me to recognize you? Actually, just a drop of blood is enough. What? Say it again. 1 drop is enough, or half a drop. Omega. Master, I thought you wanted to leave your mark on every corner of me. Feeling the connection with the spirit of the mansion, Wu Hao knew the palace like the back of his hand. Feeling the core of the palace, a force of inclusiveness made Wu Hao very comfortable. Reduced the palace's income into Dantian space. Looking at the empty cave. I'm finally going out, I don't know what the future will be like. Wu Hao felt both anticipation and fear in his heart. Forget it, take a step and see a step. Do you think it's over? No, there's still an invisible cliff waiting for him. Sleeping trough. How deep did I fall? That's right, Wu Hao, who has been climbing for almost half an hour, is still hanging on the cliff. Feeling a constant stream of fighting energy entering his body, although there was an endless force, Wu Hao felt that he was capable again, but looking at the cliff that had been climbing for so long without seeing the top, he fell silent. A true man can never say he can't do it. Suddenly, Wu Hao felt a hint of crisis. A rock snake pounced on him. I'm being positive. Since you're trying to harm me. Speaking slowly and quickly, Wu Hao dodged to the left with his left hand, and the rock snake rushing from above quickly grabbed it with his free right hand 7 inches away. The rock snake seemed to feel that the person in front of it was not easy to provoke, so it quickly contracted its abdomen, withdrew its body, and put on an attacking posture. Wu Hao dared not be careless. After standing firm, he quickly launched an attack, mobilizing his fighting spirit in his palm. In an instant, his blood gathered and his strength burst out, directly hitting the rock snake 7 inches. Before the rock snake could react, it was penetrated by a powerful force, leaving only half of its body curled up. I can't find any clue. Fortunately, my strength can handle it. It should be an ordinary rock snake, otherwise I would have to reopen it. A wave of fear arises naturally. Wu Hao, who had slowed down for a while, adjusted his form and put away half of the snake's body. He has started his career journey again. This time he was even more careful and encountered many animal threats along the way, but none of them were strong. After climbing for an unknown amount of time, Wu Hao gradually began to feel tired, looking at the misty top of the cliff. Am I going to be defeated here? I'm not willing to accept it. But I'm so hungry, so tired, so tired. Master, do you need to be more sober? Dog egg, what's wrong with me? Master, you have been climbing the cliff for so long, and because you haven't reached the top yet, you almost formed a demon in your heart. No wonder I feel like I can't control myself. As a strong man like me, how can I say I can't do it? How can a small cliff stop me? Wu Hao adjusted his mentality, instantly regained consciousness, activated the Blood Flame Classic, and focused his fighting energy on his waist, hands, and legs. Bow and horse in one. The speed is getting faster and faster, skipping towards the mountaintop. Not long after, a figure jumped to the mountaintop in an instant. Wu Hao stands at the top of the mountain, looking down at the foot of the mountain and looking down at all living beings. Master, what are you doing? I'll install Wave 1. What? Install Wave 1. Neurosis. Wu Hao, who had regained his senses, stared at an old tree root, unsure of what he was thinking. Then he stepped on it and ran towards the original pool with his dog egg. Quiet and beautiful, the fish in the water are like wandering in the air without a place to rely on. How could a woman's rabbit flash in my mind? Am I stunned? At this moment, Wu Hao, who was soaking in the water, was having wild thoughts. And deep down in my heart, I am still making a poisonous oath. Female thief, wait for me. When I achieve great martial arts, this revenge will be avenged. It seems that even the fish in the water can feel his resentment and move away from him. Wu Hao, who had regained his senses, looked at the plump swimming fish and thought of braised fish, boiled fish, and Wanzhou grilled fish. What unnecessary words have appeared? Wu Hao, who was full of food and drink, searched towards the direction in his memory. According to the vague memory of my predecessor, I vaguely remember that it was a small town. Chapter 7. The Town and the Girl. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qingshan Town. Well, isn't this the main character's check.in location? And there is also a gentle young girl named Little Dr. Immortal. I don't know if there's a chance to kiss Fangza, just cough up. Standing at the entrance of the small town, the destitute young man Wu Hao began his 100-day contemplation again. Looking at Wu Hao in a daze, passers-by looked like fools. This person is not stupid, is he? Stay away. After regaining his senses, he didn't pay attention to the gaze of those around him and walked towards the bustling city wearing his tattered clothes. Selling spiritual medicines, top rare medicines, selling magic cores, water-based and wood-based, all levels 1 to 3, there's nothing you can't buy. A variety of hawking sounds attracted Wu Hao, a ground beetle. Looking at the variety of products, Wu Hao wanted to keep them all in his pocket, but he was a poor person. As the saying goes, a family is surrounded by nothing, except for success, there is only success. Hey! Dog egg, do you have any soft girl coins in your warehouse? What is soft sister coin? Money no. What? What should we do? Where do you only have food and no accommodation? Master, are you a fool? I am just a house. What? WTF. I almost forgot. You already forgot. Nonsense, I almost forgot. Okay. But I can't just show you up. That's just telling others I'm a homeowner or a high-end guy. Master, why don't you take a stroll first? If it's really not possible, we'll just stay outside the town. Good idea, take a walk and take a look. There is recruitment information. Location. Wanyaozhai recruiting personnel. Apprentice of medicine picker requirements. Diligent and capable, with abundant physical strength, and a love for learning. Task. Follow the master to learn various herbal knowledge and collection techniques. Those who practice will be given priority, including food and shelter, and 1 gold coin per month. You see, this is about coming to life, a job tailored for me as an unemployed wanderer. After reading the information, Wu Hao rushed towards Wanyao's studio in a hurry. Watching the scene of a long queue, a sense of grabbing food immediately arises. This is even worse than the 21st century. However, Wu Hao did not run away, but silently lined up in a long queue. Time passed by little, and it was not until evening that it was Wu Hao's turn. At this moment, a girl's voice around 10 years old asked. Looking at this tattered outfit. Are you a cultivator? Yes. Is it convenient to disclose levels? Not convenient. Do you think when encountering Warcraft while picking herbs, should you pick herbs first or run away first? What? What's this question? It's like asking, what would you do if your boss arranges work for you when you're sick? I will act as a driver, seize the opportunity, take the medicine and run away. The girl nodded after listening to the answer and said again. So if your teammate is in danger at this moment and you are in the upper state, what will you do? What? There's something there. I will encourage my teammates, then give the collected medicine to them, and then run separately. The girl has an incredible expression on her face. What logic is this? Is it a new way of saving lives? As Wu Hao watched the girl's reaction, he knew that his answer had interfered with her. After all, he was only around 10 years old, and this logic was a bit thought-provoking. The girl didn't hesitate and said to him. You go and wait on the side, we'll notify you of the results later. Okay. Wu Hao obediently found a spot to squat down. Looking at the waiting people, there were 10, much fewer than before, all of whom were strong and some even had fluctuations in fighting spirit. However, it seems that their cultivation level is not so high because most of the fluctuations are not as strong as their own. It seems that the remaining ones are all selected. After a while, the little girl gathered the waiting people and began her onboarding speech. Hello everyone, I am the person in charge of this recruitment. You can call me Xiao Yixin. Xiao Yixin, she is Xiao Yixin. Looking at the girl in front of him, Wu Hao curiously scrutinized her. Ignoring the feelings of those around us at all. Even he ignored the speech of the little Dr. Fairy. Do you understand? Little Dr. Xian felt something unusual, as if he had been seen through. Then I saw a young man staring at me. What? This is the little Doctor Immortal, one of the female protagonists of Dou Po, and an extender of the main storyline. Wu Hao is still daydreaming and hasn't even come to his senses. Hello. My name is Xiao Yixin, what's your name? At this point, Xiao Yixian couldn't bear his scrutiny, but from a personal and moral perspective, she couldn't have an excessive posture, so she had to say hello. Wu Hao, who had wild thoughts, was pulled back to reality by this greeting. Oh. Hello, little medical fairy, what's my name? Inner activities, oh. My name is Wu Hao. Wu Hao, I remember you. Xiao Yixin smiled and said. Awkwardly, remember me. I've been through this kind of thing on my first day at work, so I won't be wearing small shoes, right? Ah. Xiao Yixian then said again. Everyone decides whether to stay or not. Those who stay will follow me and arrange accommodation and dinner for you. Wu Hao followed the large army, but he didn't even hear the content of what little Dr. Xian was saying behind him. What were he thinking about, going out to starve to death? Dinner was simple mantou with pickles, but Wu Hao ate with relish. After all, he has tasted the hardships of life. Now there is food and shelter, and life is so simple and happy. Of course, there are not many single rooms to live in. After all, he is a medicinal apprentice and can handle a group dormitory, so he doesn't mind. Chapter 8. Half-Year Fighter. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Wu Hao, please stop me. At this moment, a gentle girl stood in front of Wu Hao. Xiao Yixian, 11 years old, developed rapidly in 6 months. I can no longer call myself a little girl, but a girl. However, it has nothing to do with Wu Hao, who has been developing in a lewd way, because he has been avoiding the little Doctor Immortal. What's wrong? Little Doctor Immortal. Since the interview, Wu Hao knows he's ashamed and often hides from the little Doctor Fairy. Why have you been avoiding me all this time? Said the little doctor angrily. Did I hide from you? Did I? How could I? Wu Hao dodged back. No. No, you're naturally beautiful and gentle. I haven't had time to chase after you yet. How could you avoid it? Wu Hao said a rainbow fart appropriately. There's no way, no reason, no way. Okay. Let's go out with me later. Xiao Yixian blushed as he praised him so much and didn't know how to respond. What are you going for? Wu Hao asked in confusion. You'll know later, the little doctor replied playfully, and then walked away. Wu Hao's face was sullen. Is it still difficult for me to escape death? Never mind, in half a year, my cultivation has also surpassed that of a fighter. I will go back to my residence to consolidate my skills. Wu Hao has been reciting various medicinal knowledge with the pharmacist in the Wanyao Zhai for the past 6 months. I have gained a better understanding of Duqi continent and am looking forward to future cultivation through the collection of books in the medicine studio. So for half a year, in addition to practicing medicinal techniques, he also diligently practiced. I can break through 2 levels of fighting energy every month. Although the effect is worse than expected, the accumulation is more solid. Just when he broke through the 9th stage of Doji Qi in a month, he went out with the medicinal team to collect herbs. Due to his good performance, he was promoted to a medicinal collector ahead of schedule and was given a separate room. He also received a salary increase of 10 gold coins per month. That's right, he survived the pain of quenching flesh in the middle of the Do Qi, and the pain of quenching tendons a month ago. The pain was indescribable, and he thought he could start breaking through the Do Qi. As a result, he was severely defeated by reality. When he broke through the 9th level of Doji Qi, the subsequent techniques of the Blood Flame Classic began to gradually manifest, almost causing him to die suddenly. The Qi of Do has 10 sections. When the Qi of Do reaches 9 sections, it attracts blood to the bones and refines the dragon bones, commonly known as the spine, which is the source of blood. This realm is the bone-quenching realm and does not generate the 10th level of fighting energy. Note: this state is accompanied by bone-shattering pain. Don't try it easily. If you don't have great perseverance, you can change to other cultivation methods and bring Qi to the Dantian, forming a Duqi cyclone. In this way, Wu Hao ran to the mountains outside the town every day, crying and howling, causing rumors of being haunted by ghosts among the people in the town. Until half a month ago, when the bone quenching was finally over, the Doja technique emerged. The Blood Inflammation Classic is a summary of the practitioner's cultivation, which guides Qi into the bone, compresses it into a spiral, and completes bone training. Each rotation exists within the bones, divided into 9 stages, including the spine, head, chest, pelvis, and limbs. The last rotation refines the bones around the body and is stored in the dantian. Note: good luck to practitioners. Persistence is victory. Prepare more heavenly materials and earthly treasures. The spiritual fire and spiritual objects of heaven and earth can help accelerate the refining speed and also protect cultivators from becoming demonic. After reading the subsequent techniques, Wu Hao fell into contemplation. Do I deserve it? Is this amazing skill that a character like me can cultivate? Isn't it said to be Gou Sheng? This cultivation is even more terrifying than self-harm. Looking at it from a different perspective, every breakthrough comes with pain. That kind of pain, being meticulous, and thinking that you are sick, in order not to be doubted by others, Gou Sheng is not illusory. However, roast is roast. Wu Hao still followed the instructions of his kung fu, standing the first cyclone in his spine and watching the cyclone swimming inside his spine. A tear welled up in Wu Hao's eyes. Do you know how I've been through these 6 months? Ah! Wu Hao, who had broken through and become a fighter, had not yet consolidated his strength, so he came out to relax and was caught by the little Dr. Immortal. The opening scene happened. Quickly returning to his residence, Wu Hao suppressed his urge to curse. He had endured so much hardship and was afraid of a small medical fairy. Internally examine the whole body, stabilize the breath, conservative and return to the original state, and observe a body that lacks some fighting energy but has an additional cyclone. Although the fighting energy has decreased, the richness is even stronger than when it was in the previous 9-dan period, without any sense of weakness when breaking through. After all, it is a state that has been truly boiled out. He felt that even an ordinary fighter with 3 stars could be crushed by him, 5 or 6 stars could compete, 7 or 8 stars could escape, and 9 stars didn't know. That's right, he drifted away. It's not simply floating, but the kind of floating. Wu Hao, are you ready? Just as he was lost in thought, the little medical fairy suddenly appeared. Coming. Wu Hao didn't know how to refuse, so he could only take a step and see. Dog egg, check the supplies. Is there anything else that needs to be replenished? Master, I thought you forgot about me. I checked and you should be preparing something to eat. Didn't I prepare a lot of provisions? My salary has been bought with grain. Have you been greedy for ink? Wu Hao was shocked. Master, don't talk nonsense. Which time didn't you say you were hungry? Hungry. Hungry. The ghost calls, will food be consumed so quickly? Now you're blaming me. Okay. I don't have any money now, Wu Hao said helplessly. Suddenly he thought of Xiao Yixian, isn't she rich? The corners of the mouth unconsciously curled up. Borrow money. Ha ha ha, I'm really a genius. Looking at the owner who suddenly giggled, Gooden silently withdrew from the communication group, Silly Wave 1. Chapter 9. Borrowing money to buy food and women in distress. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Due to his martial arts, Wu Hao consumes a large amount of food every time he breaks through. He thought he was greedy, but in fact, he is not. The difference between the blood inflammation classic and other martial arts is that those who do not break through the Dou can cultivate it. All other cultivation methods must break through the practitioner in order to choose the appropriate cultivation method. The cultivation of Doji Qi requires physical exercise, while the blood inflammation classic accelerates the refining speed and intensity. Secondly, the strength of the fighting spirit, combined with multiple factors, has led to a conclusion. Energy. That's right, it requires a lot of energy, and he doesn't have natural resources and treasures, he can only rely on food. In the past 6 months, not only has he consumed the food reserves inside the cave, but also his salary in the past few months, as well as the food in his living quarters. He has made many people dislike him as a foodie. He doesn't know it yet. I always thought I was greedy, so I didn't take it seriously. After all, there is food and drink, and I don't care. Until dog egg reminded him of the food shortage, he suddenly realized this problem. Here we go. Thinking about it, I reluctantly walked out of the room. Looking at the little medical fairy dressed in a purple dress, her figure was highlighted, giving him a special feeling. Cough. The little doctor felt Wu Hao's burning gaze and awkwardly coughed, reminding him. Wu Hao, who had calmed down, gave an awkward smile. Ask. Where are you going for what? Just follow me, that's all. Wu Hao was speechless, but he still shamelessly expressed his demands. I can go, but you have to do me a favor. What are you busy with? The little medical fairy took a step back and asked. It's not a big deal, just can you lend me some money? Wu Hao continued as he watched the little medical fairy retreat without taking it seriously. Borrow money. What do you want money for? Didn't I give you coins every month? The little doctor immortal was puzzled and said. Hee, you've also heard of my nickname in Zhai. I've eaten it all, Wu Hao replied awkwardly and politely. After finishing, do you know how much food can be bought with the gold coin sent to you? Have you finished? Said the little doctor in shock. Not much, I only eat a little more every day, which may be due to cultivation and makes me particularly hungry. Wu Hao answered truthfully. Practice. Yes, I forgot when you said you were a cultivator. Who are you now? Doja Yixing. The little doctor looked at Wu Hao in surprise, the young man who was only 3 years older than him, and was shocked in his heart. Are you really a fighter? Yeah. I broke through a few days ago. Xiao Yixian fell silent. She had never heard of the 13-year-old fighter in town. Thinking about what to do next, Wu Hao should be able to be slightly safer with the strength of a fighter. How much do you want to borrow? 20 gold coins. Wu Hao asked tentatively. Listening to 20 gold coins, the little doctor's heart relaxed. What do you need so much money to buy? It's not food, is it? Yeah. Wu Hao replied directly. How can you bring 20 gold coins of grain with you? Me. Wu Hao wanted to blurt it out, but hesitated. In fact, every time he buys gold coins for food and puts them in the palace, which can be kept forever and is also safe. But it cannot be said. I won't buy everything. Just bring some food and keep the extra money as a backup. Okay. Take it. Little Dr. Xian threw a bag of coins to Wu Hao, and Wu Hao ordered it, which was exactly 20 gold coins. After buying grain, Wu Hao intentionally wrapped it in a bundle. Actually, it was already thrown into the cave. If not, quickly get a storage ring. Thinking of an anti-inflammatory space ring, Wu Hao yearned for it. And it can also be used to conceal the existence of the cave. But I can easily earn tens of thousands of gold coins, just think about my meager salary. Hey! The road ahead is long and arduous. Just think about it. After dealing with the food issue, Wu Hao followed little Dr. Xian towards the Warcraft mountain range. Just as they left the town not far away, a sneaky figure followed closely behind. Xiao Yixian, are we going to collect herbs? Wu Hao became increasingly confused as to why he had to walk towards the Warcraft mountain range, because he rarely entered the mountain range except for picking herbs or sneaking out and howling in the middle of the night. Because there are all kinds of Warcraft inside, and their strength is increasing one by one. They are usually protected by mercenaries when picking herbs, and this time, the little Doctor Immortal is with him, although he is a fighter. But I have just broken through and haven't practiced combat skills yet. With only physical strength, I am a half-hearted fighter. I guess so. I need to collect a medicine. I know where it is, but I can't let others know about that place. I'm scared when I go alone, so I asked you to come with me, replied the little doctor. What medicine? Is that place dangerous? A kind of poison. That place is very safe and hidden. It's difficult for ordinary people to detect. I also discovered it by chance while picking herbs. Poison. What are you doing with that? Wu Hao wondered. Wait, I remember what kind of constitution little Dr. Immortal has. It seems to be a disaster poison body, which is unstable because it has not awakened. It occasionally erupts, and when it erupts, there are no living creatures in the surrounding area to survive. It seems that he still relies on using poison to suppress it, and the stronger the pressure, the stronger it becomes. She won't be taking drugs again, will she? Looking at the pure and beautiful girl, she stuffed poison into her mouth one by one. That scene is too beautiful to imagine. Dispensing. As a weak woman, I haven't cultivated yet, so I can only dispense some small things to accompany her. Little Dr. Immortal didn't know Wu Hao's imagination, so he replied on his own. Noah, here's something for you. This is my newly developed poison called Ichi-san. With just one sip, your fighting spirit will disappear within 3 minutes, and you won't be able to activate it at all. However, it can only deal with cultivators with 5 stars and below. Wu Hao took the small medicine bottle and listened to the words of the little Dr. Fairy, his heart turning upside down. I secretly swear to stay away from the little Dr. Immortal. Is this a little thing? What am I, a fighter? Hello Kitty. At this moment, several figures appeared blocking their way. Stop, fight 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 Rob. A burly and stuttering figure stood in front of Wu Hao, carrying a large knife, and said. This mountain is mine, this tree is mine. If you want to live from now on, beautiful women and money, she said, looking greedily at the little medical fairy. Others should laugh in unison. Something is not right, 9 out of 10. How could there be robbers on the outskirts of Qingshan town? Are several mercenary groups eating dry food? And judging from the appearance of these few individuals, the 3 or 4 levels of cultivation and talent, where did they have the courage, given by Liang Jingru? Wu Hao was puzzled, was someone probing or was there another plot? Chapter 10. Instant Kill and Escape. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xiao Yixin was also very puzzled. She hadn't heard of any robbers during her years in Qingshan town. Take a glance at Wu Hao and take a step back. Wu Hao instantly took action, gathering his fighting spirit into his hands, and punched him, hitting the heart of the stuttering robber. Click. The robber spewed out a beam of blood in an instant, burping his butt. The surrounding robbers were stunned. What is the situation? What operation? What about everyday nonsense? Shouldn't ordinary people beg for mercy? A burly man reacted and raised his sword to gather momentum. Flame blade slash. Just halfway through, a huge fist has already hit the eye socket. Another click, the skull shattered directly. Other people also gradually reacted and began to display their martial arts skills. Wu Hao watched as these people were gaining momentum. What? Do martial arts skills still require energy accumulation? Shouldn't my martial arts skills be filled with various deadly moves? Did I travel the wrong way? Just as he doubted himself for a few seconds, someone had already finished accumulating momentum and various fancy skills were attacking him. The sights were all very bad, and he dodged them one by one, starting a new round of slaughter. Just as he finished killing the last person, an arrow struck in an instant. Shoo! He didn't react well and was shot in the buttocks. Ah! Who? He covered his buttocks and rushed towards the position where the arrow had shot, already running away. Wu Hao, are you okay? The little doctor asked anxiously. It's okay, fortunately the arrow is not poisonous. Wu Hao broke the shaft in pain. Xiao Yixin, why don't they engage in melee with me and instead choose ranged combat? Wu Hao was very puzzled. What? Xiao Yixin was a bit at a loss when he asked this question. Do we still need to discuss with you how others will attack? Wu Hao also felt that asking such a question was a bit strange. Because he had never practiced fighting skills, he had just made those few reckless moves himself, without any skills to speak of, and others did not expect him to make a direct move. It may also be due to level suppression, as they are unable to cultivate at home. Wu Hao covered his buttocks and began to touch the corpse, which is a traditional virtue that must be followed. After touching for a while, apart from a few money bags, there were only a few martial arts books. Upon inspection, they were all low-level yellow level. When he was planning to inspect the spoils of war, the sound of someone flying over suddenly came. Someone is coming. Wu Hao was instantly alert and came limping to the side of the little Dr. Fairy, holding her hand and starting to look around. Xiao Yixian felt his hand being pulled by Wu Hao, and although he was shy, he didn't pull it back. After all, the crisis was approaching now. He had a bad premonition that a character he couldn't handle had arrived. Oh! Isn't this a little medical fairy? A teasing voice came in. In a moment, a thin figure appeared, followed by several skilled mercenaries and a shadowy young man with a bow on his back. Muley. What do you want? The little medical fairy looked at the person who appeared and asked. What do I want? Guess what? Muley licked his lips and joked. This is near Qingshan town, and your wolf-headed mercenary group is actually engaged in robbery. What do you want? Said the little doctor angrily. Ha ha ha. What are you doing? Of course it's you. Mu Lisen stared at the little medical fairy with a narrowed expression. Who wouldn't know that your little Dr. Fairy is the little beauty of Qingshan town? As Wu Hao listened to their conversation, he had already guessed that the group of people just now were not robbers at all, but members of the wolf-headed mercenary corps. He thought they were ordinary people with no strength, but he didn't expect him to be the same variable. I haven't seen this little brother before. I heard you killed so many of my brothers. Muley didn't bother with the little medical fairy and turned his head to look at Wu Haoji and asked. Wu Hao didn't answer his question, but stared at the few people behind him. He felt that these few were not something he could handle. At least they are all fighters. So when Xiao Yixian was communicating with Mu Li, he opened the poison that Xiao Yixian had given him. He felt his fighting spirit being suppressed a bit. In an instant, he punched towards Muley. Out of measure, Muley easily blocked his fist. Playing against Muley felt something was wrong, and he couldn't control his fighting spirit. Wu Hao just felt that his fighting spirit was suppressed, and he didn't know any moves, only used his fighting spirit roughly. Although it has a strong endurance. But when he was beaten, he was surrounded. I just realized that fighting skills are still very useful, even if the fighting spirit is suppressed, but fighting skills are still there. Xiao Yixian watched as Wu Hao fell into a tight encirclement and threw out a handful of medicinal mist. Lost the sight of a group of people like Muley. Pulling Wu Hao, he ran towards the depths of the Warcraft Mountains. Slow down, my buttocks hurt. Wu Hao covered his buttocks and was dragged by the little Dr. Fairy. Are you foolish to fight against so many people alone, and you don't know any martial arts skills? Xiao Yixian asked as he pulled Wu Hao away. My medicine powder doesn't last long, and once they react, we won't be able to run away. Wu Hao stood up straight after listening, regardless of the injury on his buttocks, running so fast. The two of them ran for 15 minutes, intending to take a break. Where are you two running? Muley's voice came from behind. Xiao Yixian, as long as you leave me today, I will let you go. You dream, don't think I don't know who you are, Muley. The whole Qingshan town knows what you did. Since you don't know the current situation, don't blame me for being ruthless. I can only force myself to bow. Although it's a bit cruel, I also like it. Ha ha ha. Muley should add some music appropriately. Kid, where was your cow's strength just now? Wu Hao listened to Mu Li's satire and really wanted to stop and fight him for 300 rounds. How could I be injured and still be in such a strange position? So he could only endure the pain and run wildly, dragging the little medical fairy. But in the end, he couldn't run away from the wolf-head mercenary corps. As he watched the little Dr. Immortal and the other two delve deeper into the Warcraft Mountains, Muley furrowed his brows. After all, the high-level Warcraft inside was not something that he, as a small fighter, could handle. In addition, with this group of people, it was not worth it for them. Stop chasing. Muley stopped his steps and stopped the person behind him. Young master, is that all we have to do to let them go? Said a mercenary. Muley glanced at him. It's too deep, we can't handle high-level monsters. Let's go back first and send a few brothers with keen vision to keep an eye on the periphery. If they come out, let me know. Yes. Muley withdrew with his people. Oh. Why don't they chase after me? Wu Hao wondered. Because we have delved deep into the outskirts of the Warcraft mountain range. First-order Warcraft is very common here, and occasionally there will be third-order Warcraft. Without the strength of the great Dou Master, we will have to be digested, said the little medical immortal helplessly. Tearing, it's so terrifying. You still want me to come? Do you have any grudges against me? Wu Hao asked cautiously, covering his buttocks. Who knew this would happen? I was planning to take you on a safe route, but... I haven't finished speaking yet. Wu Hao, what's wrong with you? Don't scare me. Wu Hao fainted.